Welcome to the Top 1%er podcast, where we encompass a lot more than just wealth creation, but we actually focus on creating a life by design in all areas of our life. So, Brian, today we're going to get on the topic of relationships, right? That's a big part of Top 1%er is focusing and growing our relationships.
Yeah.
And a big relationship that's super important is the relationship with our wife. I believe in the term power couple, right? That the relationship between a husband and wife is the cornerstone. It is the keystone of the family, right? If that relationship is strong, if you've invested more effort and time into that relationship, I feel like it makes the home life better. I feel like it makes the work life better. It makes the financial life easier. It makes the fitness life easier. You want to be healthier because you have a great relationship with husband and wife. I feel like it's very important to continue to invest in that relationship between husband and wife. What are some ways that you and your wife, Tara, work on strengthening your relationships? What some things that you guys do in your home to improve your marriage?
Oh man,
It's a loaded question.
it is. There's a lot that goes into because I mean before I even get into it, we've all heard the term. You got to both give 50-50 or 100-100 or whatever it is. I think the most important thing is that you both are really um, pulling your weight in times that need to be pulled. Because
Mhm.
there's some times when my wife has had a hard day and she's like, I don't know that I have much more to give. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
coming home and I coming home either from work or whatever it's been, and she's like, I want to give my kids time and I want to give you time, but mentally I'm at like 20%. I need you to pull that other 80
Yeah.
tonight, right? And things it's a balance that's constantly going like this and this, and it's important to recognize where your spouse is at
Mm-hmm.
during the day. I mean, I
Yep.
came home last night. We were filming and working until late last night. What time did we get home? Midnight.
Yeah.
And my wife was still up. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, how'd your day go?" And she's like, "I'm tired." Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what that means.
Yeah.
I know that my wife put a lot of effort in the day. I was gone most of the day, and I'm not gonna have to. I want to make sure that she has some time, and I go take the kids and I go do something,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Um, but uh, but I think it's understanding and recognizing your spouse well enough to know what percent are they at, and how much can they give for the rest of the day, and whatever they're lacking, you make sure that you got that ready for them.
And not only that, but looking for ways to serve when you're coming home, like
Yeah,
husband and wife. I feel like if you're coming home as a husband, and before you walk in that door, make a conscious choice that I'm going to be a great dad and I'm going to be a great husband. So if I walk in and the kitchen's a mess and the house is a mess, and my wife looks exhausted, I can come in and make it. I've already made a conscious choice that I'm going to be a great husband and a great father right now. I'm going to come in with a different attitude there. And I'm going to
that's
say,
cool. I
where
love
can
that.
I help? And I'm going to start doing dishes. I'm going to start helping with the kids. I'm going to start helping with homework, whatever it is. So I can tell my wife's had a hard day. Right.
Yeah, I
And
love that, dude.
if you
That's
just make
awesome.
that
It
conscious
takes
choice
two
before you come in, it
seconds.
takes 2 seconds. No matter what I walk into, I'm going to be a great father. I'm going to be a great husband. And if I come home and the house is perfectly clean and the kids are having fun and the wife's having fun, I'm gonna go straight to my wife. I'm gonna give her a kiss so my kids can see me give my wife a kiss and just see the love there. And I'm gonna go pick up and hug my kids. Like right now, I've already made a decision. What can I do as a father walking into the store, right? And if you get in the habit of making that choice before you walk in the door, you will handle those situations so much better, and you'll be that much better of a husband and a father.
It's crazy. I bet you walk in when you do that. I'm gonna start doing that. But it's crazy when you walk in and you're like consciously do that. I bet your energy level perks. Like I
Mm-hmm.
bet I bet it goes up a little bit because before you walk in, you're like, hey, I have a handful of things I got to get done just in case it was rough, right?
Yeah.
And if it was great, then sweet. But I bet your energy level goes up
And
when
it's my
you're
kids
preparing
have
for that.
caught on. It does. My kids have caught on. They know when dad gets home. It started when they're little, right? When they're this big, and I'd pick them up. My daughter's 12 now. She still gets picked up every time I get home. It's not just a hey Tenley, how was school? It's a pick up hug every time. And I want to make sure that I can, and I'll do that until she's 20s. Like
Yeah.
I'll do that forever. I feel like with my daughters and with my son is big until he's bigger than me, right? But same thing with my wife. I always go in and I give her a kiss, no matter what. And it's just kind of a habit where I feel like you can get in the opposite habit of just like being a teammate instead of a good spouse and saying, "Hey, honey," or whatever, and walk right past them. We go in right when we see each other, we give each other a peck, right? We give each other a kiss. And my kids always tease us and laugh at us or whatever, but I feel like it's important right when we get home, we establish that right
I
now.
love it. I think that reminded me when you're doing that, when you're married, you have to be very conscious
Mhm.
about staying in love.
Yeah,
Very conscious about it.
it's an investment. You got to keep working on it.
It doesn't like when people get a divorce or when they, you know, fall out of love. It's not like it just happens.
No.
It's those little things that you stop doing when you walk in the home. It's not going and giving her a kiss, or from it used to be a kiss, but then it goes to a hug, then a hug to, hey, how we doing? Hey, how can I help? Or whatever. And it just starts degrading. And over time, those little teeny things, the compound effect, make a massive result.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I'm not in love anymore.
Yeah,
But it's that conscious effort that you explained that I think is incredible. You might not think it's that big of a deal, but I think it's huge
it's the little
to
things,
stay in
right?
love. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's continuing to court your spouse. You know, the one
Yeah,
thing that I actually learned from you and Tara years ago was the Friday night date nights, right? And
yeah,
I remember you guys said you did that. The second we heard you guys did that, we started scheduling a babysitter and doing a date night every Friday night. So talk to us about what your date night is. I know you do it not only with just with your wife, but you do it with your kids too, right?
yeah. So we do. Things have gotten crazy since then, right? With business and work and that kind of thing. So it's not Fridays only.
Yeah.
We just, if we've got time, we go,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes it's all day. Like for instance, this Friday, I'm just going to go all day with my wife and we're going
Hmm.
to go on a bike ride. We're going to do some fun things, whatever. When you do that with your wife, and if you have kids, they see that. When your kids see that, wow, my mom and dad, they love me. I know they do, but they love each other so much.
Hmm.
It gives them confidence to go into marriage, you know, as they get older, that this is going to be a good, exciting, fun thing,
Yeah.
right? They don't dread or not want to be married. They go into this going, oh, this is going to be awesome, right? Because they see their role models
Yeah.
living a life that they want to go live.
Yep.
And you mentioned about the kids, yeah. Again, I'm not perfect. I wish I was, but I take my daughters out and we do a one-on-one. Try to do it every month. I wish I was perfect, but I'm not.
It's hard.
And try to go every month. And I guess it just mattered to put in my schedule. But when I'm with her or with my daughters, I learned something very special from my daughter one day. This is a little tangent. I want to get off on this. So my daughter struggles with math. One of my daughters.
Okay.
The other daughter, she's perfect with math, but this daughter struggles. We wanted her to, we not only does she have to keep good grades to stay on the cheer team, but we want her to have good grades. I don't really care, and I've told her this, I don't care what your grade is, I care what your effort is.
Hmm.
And I can tell that your effort isn't good, not just by your grade, but by how you are acting at home, right? Well, over probably a few months period of this, she wasn't doing good. And I was kind of talking to her saying, hey, you got to get your grades up. Again, I don't care about your grade. I care about your effort. I can tell you're not putting in the effort you need.
Hmm.
Well, one of these nights, I had a conversation like this to her, and she looked at me and she got teary eyed and she said, Dad, did you know I'm doing a lot of things right?
Okay.
And I was like, holy crap, you are. Because if as I'm looking, if I can look past this, this one thing that she was struggling with math,
Yeah.
she's doing so many good things. And that's when I committed that when I'm doing these date days, I guess, or date lunch, whatever with my daughters,
Yeah.
it's only positive.
Okay.
I only talk about the positive things. It's not a time for me to go in and say, hey, how can we correct this or do this? It's, you're doing amazing. I cannot believe how good you are at driving. Like you have not had a wreck. You haven't had a ticket.
Yeah.
You are
Build them up.
incredible. I just wanted to let you know you're doing an awesome job.
Yeah.
And so that struck home for me as a parent, find a way to look at the things your kids are doing well,
Yeah.
not at the things they're not doing well.
Yeah.
And maybe with your spouse too. But
It totally with your spouse, and it's the little things like that too, Bron, that I've tried to do in my household, where with my spouse and my kids, I'll try to sneak in, little notes to them all the time, or I'll even send my wife just a random text. hey, just so you know, I love you and appreciate you. You know, you're a babe, whatever it is. I'll send her a little text just out of the blue, right? It's just continuing to focus on those relationships and building on those relationships. And we'll end with this one that we kind of talked about before, but what do you do to give your spouse a break when you know that they need a break? Like, do you, if you see that they're struggling or you see that they need a day off or they need a vacation, like whatever it is, what do you do to strengthen your marriage there?
One thing my wife is good at is she sometimes will just tell me because I'll sometimes I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a zone, I'm oblivious, and she might just say, "Take the kids,"
Yeah.
and that's enough to know. All right,
Okay.
right. And then other times I can see it, and I do that, and I try to book a girls trip for her. Like, hey, what are the dates? Let's book it. Let's get the girls and let's go.
Yeah.
And it happens every once in a while. But I try really hard to make sure that my wife gets that time,
Hmm.
even when she doesn't need it. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So I I should always do it when she's like, hey, give me a break, right?
Yep.
But I should definitely probably do it above and beyond and say, when she doesn't need it at all, say, hey, I'm just going to take the kids. We're going to go do this. You do whatever you want. And a lot of times it's we go mountain biking with the boys,
Hmm.
or the girls are a little bit older now, so they can drive and do their own thing. But it used to be just going to the park. It used to be taking over, driving some little race cart go karts. But
Yeah.
it's just take them for 2 or 3 hours. Not, maybe not in the whole day. Just take them for a couple hours. It's crazy what happens when you come back and your wife's like, "I needed
I
that.
needed
Thank
that.
you."
And it goes both ways. Like for me, it's golfing, right? Like golfing's my outlet. My gym's the going to the gym's my outlet. And when I tell my wife, hey, I want to go golfing with the boys, like she understands, like we have a stressful work environment. Like we're in sales, we're in building sales cultures and we're in investing, whatever it is. Sometimes we just need an outlet and we need time away from kids. We need time away from work, right? Where we can just be alone. And my wife understands that I find pleasure in that. I find joy in going out with boys and going golfing, right? And she'll give me that. And I know that she also needs that break as well, from her life. And I'll just usually for us in our household, I give her Thursdays, right? Like she's a stay-at-home mom. She's working with kids all day. We homeschool, so she's also doing
Oh
that. She's
yeah,
doubling down as a school teacher as well. Thursdays, luckily for me or fortunate for our family, my work schedule can be flexible where I can be available on Thursdays. I'll just say, hey, Thursday's your day. I'll work from home. I'll
I
do
love
everything
that.
I can and just go do your thing. Go do what you want to do. And that's when she'll get her nails done. That's when she'll go shopping. That's when she'll go do whatever she needs to do. Sometimes she'll go out to lunch with a friend or just focus on herself a little bit. And I think both husband and wife, you need that outlet, you need that break. And when I give her that time away or that break, I make sure I double down on my household duties. And she comes home to a clean house and she comes home to happy kids that have been fed. And that
Yeah,
kind of more than
not just
mac,
cereal.
not just cereal or mac and cheese, but they had a good meal. And I want her to come home proud of me that I did good when she was
Yeah,
gone. So it's just a breath of fresh air when she comes home and it's a relaxing night, that kind of stuff. So I feel like both husband and wives, you need to be able to find those ways to give your spouse an outlet and probably once a week, it's good to give them that couple hours, whatever it is, to just, hey, go be with the boys for me
what I
or
love
go be
that,
with the girls.
yeah, what I love that you do that you do is it's scheduled.
We schedule
That's cool because when it's scheduled, your wife can plan on it, and when she wants to go do something with her girlfriends, or where she wants to go and shop or do this or get some nails, her nails done, she can make an appointment, and she knows that you're going to be home,
it.
right?
Yep.
Or she knows that things are going to be taken care of on Thursday.
Hmm.
And so I think scheduling that is a key to, I think, a husband and wife's relationship.
Yeah. We actually schedule date night too. So sometimes it's Friday nights, sometimes it's Saturday nights, depending on what sport season it is. If it's baseball practice on
Yeah,
Friday
that'll
nights or
change. Yeah.
whatever, we'll change it to Friday night or Saturday night based on our kid's schedule. But we will book the babysitter weeks in advance, so there's no excuse that we can't get a babysitter, that kind of stuff. A lot of times we'll try to double date with other couples, but a lot of times if we don't have anything to do, or we're just, hey, we're gonna go out to get dinner, we're gonna go out to go see a movie, we're gonna go do something that we enjoy doing, and it's crazy what that 2 to 3 hour window does to building that relationship. And there's been times where we'll just get so caught up in life that we can't do date night for 3 or 4 weeks, and then we finally get that date night. And it is incredible what it does to your relationship to have that date night that you can continue to court each other, to work on that relationship, to go on a date again, just like you used to do back in the day when you're dating and courting each
I feel
other
like
to,
that's when you can have good, solid, in-depth
hmm
conversations about the things that really matter
yeah.
as well.
And I feel like it's so healthy for relationships. So, man, I know we could go on for days about
Yeah.
this, and this is going to be a topic we're going to cover a ton. So, if you like this conversation, if you like this type of thing, make sure you're asking questions that you have down here about, relationships with your spouse or relationships with your kids, and we'd love to kind of give ideas that we've seen and that we've
Yeah.
implemented into our own lives.
You
Just
know
put
what we
those in
ought
the
to do? We
comments
ought to
there.
bring a therapist on
That would be
and
awesome.
chat about like a family therapist and do that. We'll
That'd
do
be so
that.
fun.
We'll do that.
So.
Plan on it.
Make sure you like and follow this. If you like it, get in the comments if you want us to answer anything particular, and stay tuned for next time.
Adios.